You've seen cars before, haven't you? They pass by every day, loud, quiet, fancy, broken. Nothing more than metal boxes on wheels. But not this one. This one isn't just another machine rolling down the street. No, this one carries weight, a presence, the kind that makes your chest tighten before you even know why. It doesn't honk. It doesn't scream. It doesn't need to. It whispers with silence, and that silence shakes you. Not every arrival is ordinary, though most people convince themselves it is. They see things moving, coming, going, fading, and they nod, shrug, continue with their dull routines, convincing themselves the world is predictable, controllable, tame. But sometimes something comes that bends the air around it. That makes time feel slower, heavier, almost unbearable. You try to tell yourself it's just another moment, another arrival. Nothing to fear, nothing to notice. But deep down, in the marrow of your bones, you feel it. This is not ordinary. This is not just another passing shadow. This is the kind of arrival that doesn't knock politely at your door. It crashes into your reality and demands attention. You think you're in control, don't you? You think you can anticipate what's coming, prepare for it, manage it. But some arrivals laugh at your plans. They mock your preparation. They come like thunder in a clear sky, without a warning, without a reason you can grasp. And you realize then that ordinary arrivals are just camouflage, distractions to lull you into a false sense of security. Because when the extraordinary arrives, it doesn't look like what you expect. It doesn't dress itself in flashing lights or grand announcements. No. It cloaks itself in something deceptively simple. A black car, a silent step, a door opening at the wrong hour. Something so ordinary that it would almost slip past you, until it doesn't. And that's the trap. Ordinary arrivals lull you. Extraordinary ones strike you. They blur the line between coincidence and destiny, until you're left questioning whether what just happened was random at all. You feel the pull of inevitability, like strings wrapped around your chest, tugging you forward whether you want to move or not. And suddenly, it's not just about the arrival, it's about what it brings with it. News, change, revelation, maybe even judgment. Something that makes your skin prickle, your pulse race. Because you know it's not leaving you the same as before. You've probably tried to explain away moments like this in the past. It's nothing. Just a coincidence. That's what you tell yourself to calm your nerves, to keep from facing the truth. But your body knows better. That chill in your spine knows better. That tightening in your gut knows better. And you stand there, watching something approach, pretending it's just another moment, while everything in you screams that it's not. That this one matters. That this one changes the script. That this one won't let you walk away untouched. The irony. Ordinary arrivals never test you. They never shake you. They never rip open your comfort and expose what's been hiding underneath. That's why people cling to them. They're safe, predictable, harmless. But chosen ones, the rare few, don't get to live in that safety. They don't get ordinary. They get arrivals that burn holes through their illusions and force them to face what's real. They get the kind of moments that demand a choice, either rise to it or run from it. And once it arrives, you can't unsee it. You can't rewind it. You can't send it back. The black car isn't just a vehicle, it's a symbol, a messenger, a silent declaration that what you thought was ordinary is now extraordinary, that what you thought was random is now targeted, that what you thought was coincidence has turned into inevitability. And whether you're ready or not, it's here. It doesn't matter if your heart races, if your hands shake, if your mind begs for another chance to prepare. Arrivals like this don't care about your excuses. They show up anyway. They always do. Silence is the strangest sound in the world. Most people don't realize it because they fill their days with chatter, noise, distractions, and the constant hum of life. They think silence is peace, a moment of calm, a pause in the storm. But that's a lie. Real silence is never calm. It's heavy, suffocating, alive. It creeps into a room and presses down on you until you can feel your heartbeat echoing louder than it should, until your own breath feels like it's betraying you. And when something is coming wrapped in silence, you know it's not harmless. You know it's carrying something too serious, too sharp, too dangerous for words. Noise warns you, prepares you, gives you something to react against. But silence doesn't give you that luxury. Silence doesn't announce itself. It slips in unnoticed, waits, lingers. And then suddenly, you realize it's everywhere. That's when the panic starts. Because if you can't hear it, you don't know where it is or what it's about to do. Silence is the mask of inevitability. And when it covers something's face, you know it's close, closer than you want it to be. Think about it. A black car screeches and roars. You expect it, you brace for it. But a black car arriving without a sound, that's different. That's not coincidence. That's intention. That's precision. It wants you to feel the weight of its presence without being able to predict it. And that silence says more than noise ever could. It says you're not the one in control. It says something has been decided long before you noticed. It says the moment you've been waiting for, or the moment you've been fearing, is finally here, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You see, noise is for the crowd. It's for show. It distracts, entertains, draws attention. Silence, though. Silence is personal. Silence is direct. Silence doesn't care about the crowd. It's aimed at you. And when you're standing there, with the silence stretching out like a shadow, you realize it doesn't need to explain itself. The very absence of sound becomes the message. It's saying, pay attention. It's saying something is about to happen. It's saying, brace yourself. And you feel it deep in your chest, long before anything visible confirms it. The truth is, people hate silence because it forces them to listen. To themselves, to their fears, to the thoughts they bury under distraction. But chosen ones, the rare few who are awake enough, know that silence is never empty. Silence is a sign. It's the warning before the crash, the inhale before the scream, the pause before the strike. It's the space where fate reveals itself, slowly, deliberately, without wasting words. And when silence surrounds an arrival, it's not random, it's deliberate. So when you feel that silence pressing down on you, don't be fooled into thinking it's nothing. Don't brush it off like it's coincidence. That silence is speaking louder than any siren could. It's telling you that the ordinary moment has ended, that something significant has entered your world. And if you ignore it, if you treat it like background noise, you'll miss the message. You'll stand unprepared when the door opens, when the figure steps out, when the truth finally arrives. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence. A presence so strong, it doesn't need to shout to be noticed. And when it comes with an arrival meant for you, it's not just silence. It's destiny whispering in your ear, making sure you hear it in the only way that matters. Through the weight pressing down on your chest, through the shiver crawling across your skin, through the undeniable knowing that whatever comes next is bigger than you, and it cannot be ignored. Black has always been more than a color. People like to dress it up, make it stylish, call it elegant, mysterious, powerful. They drape themselves in it, thinking they're in control of the image it projects. But black isn't about fashion or taste. It's about depth. It's about what lies beneath, the unseen, the unspoken, the shadow that doesn't need to explain itself. And when something arrives wrapped in black, it's not just showing up, it's carrying a message. A message that what you're about to face isn't ordinary, it's serious, it's unknown, it's inevitable. You see, colors speak louder than words. Red screams danger. Green whispers go, white pretends purity. But black says nothing. And in that nothingness, you hear everything. It doesn't warn, it doesn't comfort, it doesn't guide. It swallows, it consumes, it waits. When you see it rolling toward you, you don't think about beauty or elegance. You think about endings, about secrets, about truths too heavy for daylight. That's why the black car rattles you before you even know what's inside. It doesn't need to move fast or make a sound. Its presence alone is enough to stir the fear, the wonder, the curiosity you try to bury. And isn't that the point? Black hides and reveals at the same time. It conceals what you think you want to see, but it also forces you to imagine what could be inside, what could be waiting. Your mind fills the silence with possibilities, most of them darker than reality, but that's how black works. It doesn't show, it makes you see. And what you see depends on what's buried in you. If you're guilty, you see judgment. If you're hopeful, you see salvation. If you're lost, you see direction. But make no mistake, whatever you see, you feel the weight of inevitability behind it. The arrival of something black is never casual. It doesn't just happen. It's chosen, deliberate. A black car isn't about convenience, it's about symbolism. It tells you without words that this isn't a moment to laugh off, isn't something you'll forget tomorrow. Black is the language of the serious, the grave, the final. And when it stops in front of you, it's as if the universe itself is saying, pay attention. You've reached a point that matters. What's strange is how people react. Some look away, pretend it's nothing. They cling to the idea that black is just another shade, another detail. They fool themselves, because admitting otherwise means facing the fact that something has come for them, and they aren't ready. Others stare too long, transfixed, paralyzed by the weight of what they think it means. And then there are the rare few, the chosen ones, who don't turn away, don't freeze. They see the black. They feel the unknown pressing in, and they step forward anyway. That's what separates them. Not that they're fearless, but that they understand fear doesn't change inevitability. Because black doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't care if your hands are steady or your heart is racing. Black arrives on its own terms. And when it does, you realize something important. You're not in control of the arrival, but you are in control of how you face it. Do you shrink back into excuses? Or do you step into the unknown with the awareness that it was always meant for you? Black is the color of the serious, the final, the irreversible. It marks the moment when games stop, when illusions burn away, when truth takes center stage. And when it arrives for you, it doesn't matter how much you wanted to avoid it. It doesn't matter how much you prayed for it to pass you by. It's here, and its presence demands that you recognize it for what it is, not coincidence, not chance, but a moment carved out of inevitability, designed to strip you of denial and force you to face what's waiting in the shadows. The car itself isn't just a machine, isn't just steel, glass, and rubber dragged across the pavement. No, it's a symbol, a vessel carrying something bigger than itself. People see vehicles come and go every day, but not all of them arrive for a reason. Some are random, meaningless, background noise in a life already drowning in distractions. But when a black car pulls up in silence, with intent dripping off its every movement, you know immediately, this isn't coincidence. This is inevitability taking form. This is destiny disguised as something ordinary, making its entrance without asking for permission. You tell yourself it's just a car. That's the lie you cling to because it's easier than admitting it's here for you. Easier than admitting that it represents something you can't run from. You notice the way it moves, deliberate, steady, without the chaos of rushing. It doesn't need to hurry because inevitability never does. And in that moment, you realize it isn't a visitor, it's a messenger. And messengers don't come without reason. The ordinary man looks away, buries his head in his distractions, pretends the arrival means nothing. That's how most survive, by convincing themselves that nothing has meaning, that everything is random, that destiny doesn't exist. But the chosen one doesn't get that luxury. You feel the weight in your chest, the undeniable pull of something designed for you. The black car isn't anyone's. It's yours. Its arrival isn't chance. It's a calling, and ignoring it only delays the truth pressing in from all sides. The presence of inevitability is terrifying because it robs you of illusions. You can't negotiate with it, can't plead with it, can't pretend it will pass you by. It's already been written. The car is just the physical reminder, the shadow cast by something far bigger. You can feel it before it arrives, can sense it before you see it, and when it finally appears, the air itself thickens. Suddenly, everything that felt solid, the ground, the noise, the people around you, fades into background. All that's left is you, the car, and what it represents. And that's the thing. Inevitability doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It doesn't need explosions, chaos, theatrics. Its silence is its weapon. Because silence gives you nowhere to hide, no distraction to cling to. It forces you to confront the truth in front of you. The car pulls up, the engine hums low, and every excuse you've used to avoid reality collapses. You can't call it coincidence anymore. You can't say it wasn't meant for you. It's here, and it's staring you down. Some will break under that weight, convinced it's doom, convinced the arrival means nothing but endings. But that's because they see inevitability as punishment instead of recognition. The chosen one understands it differently. To be chosen is to be confronted. To be chosen is to face what others will never be asked to. The car doesn't arrive for the crowd. It arrives for you. And though fear claws at your throat, though your pulse hammers in your ears, deep inside you know the truth. This is not random. It never was. You can delay, you can deny, you can run. But inevitability doesn't chase. It doesn't need to. It waits. And when it arrives, it doesn't ask for your agreement. It doesn't care if you're trembling or ready. It simply unfolds. The black car, the symbol of inevitability, is proof that destiny doesn't require your permission. It shows up anyway. It shows up because it was always going to. And when it does, everything you thought you controlled falls apart, leaving you face to face with the truth you tried so hard to avoid. What arrives for you is meant only for you, and that's what makes it both terrifying and beautiful. People think fate comes in general packages, shared moments, collective experiences, something everyone can touch, but that's not how it works. Fate is precise, sharp, deliberate. It carves through the crowd and locks its eyes on one. And when it arrives, it doesn't care about the noise around you, doesn't care about the 1,000 others pretending to live their lives. It comes straight to your doorstep. The black car doesn't show up for the city. It doesn't show up for the block. It shows up for you. That's why your chest tightens when you see it, why your breath shortens, because deep down you know it's not random. It's yours. And here's the thing. Most people don't want that. They love the comfort of blending in, of believing the universe has bigger things to worry about than their small lives. They pray to be overlooked, unnoticed, invisible. Because when something arrives just for you, it demands something of you. It tears away your excuses, your comfort, your distractions, and puts you under a spotlight you never asked for. The car is more than steel and glass. It's recognition. It's the universe whispering, I see you. Now what are you going to do about it? It's easy to pretend you're not chosen when nothing arrives. It's easy to tell yourself life is just survival, just routine, just random. But the moment something comes for you, you lose the ability to lie to yourself. You feel it in your bones that this isn't shared, it isn't collective, it isn't optional, it's personal. The black car becomes a mirror, reflecting back the truth you've buried, that you are meant for more, and that more is never painless. Some will call it coincidence, because that's safer. They'll say, it could have been anyone. It's nothing. That's the language of the unchosen, the ones too afraid to admit when destiny brushes against them. But you don't get that escape. You can feel it too strongly. You know it's not coincidence, because if it were, you wouldn't be shaking. You wouldn't be awake at night replaying the sound, the sight, the silence of it. Coincidence doesn't linger in your chest. Only destiny does. And destiny is selfish. It doesn't share its messages, doesn't spread its weight evenly. It singles out the ones it wants, hands them burdens disguised as arrivals, and forces them to either rise or collapse. That's why this arrival is meant for you. Because what you carry, what you've survived, what you've resisted, has carved you into someone who can bear the weight others cannot. The black car is proof, not of punishment, but of recognition. Proof that you've been noticed, that the universe has fixed its eyes on you and decided you can handle what others cannot. But here's where it cuts deepest. If it's meant for you, you can't pass it on. You can't throw it to someone else. Can't beg the crowd to take it in your place. No one else can bear this weight, because it wasn't meant for them. It's yours. And while that truth can crush the weak, it strengthens the chosen. Because when you know it's yours, you stop wasting time asking why. You stop doubting whether it's fair. You stop pretending it's nothing. Instead, you accept the brutal reality this is here. Because it was always going to be here, and it was always going to be yours. And that's the shock, isn't it? Not the car itself, not the color, not the silence. It's the realization that what arrives for you was written long before you even knew it was coming. That everything in your life, every loss, every scar, every fight, was preparing you for this one arrival. No one else can claim it. No one else can bear it. No one else can face it. What arrives for you is meant only for you. And deep down, you already knew that. That's why it terrifies you. And that's why you can't look away. There are moments when silence feels louder than any scream. When the air itself carries a weight you can't explain, and you know something is approaching. You don't see it yet, but your body knows. The hairs on your arms stand up, your stomach twists, your breath becomes uneven. That's not fear, it's recognition. The world is trying to tell you that the next step, the next scene, the next shadow has been written already, and it's heading towards you whether you're ready or not. People call it coincidence when they're blind. They call it luck when they're scared. But you know better. You know nothing that heavy arrives by accident. And it's funny, isn't it, how people want answers but run from the questions. They spend their days chasing comfort, chasing routine, chasing distractions, because they know deep down if they stop moving, if they stop pretending, They might hear the truth knocking at their door. Something meant only for them. Something that doesn't come with a manual, doesn't come with mercy, doesn't come with escape. It just comes. That's why they hide, bury themselves in noise. But the chosen don't get that luxury, because the chosen are haunted by what they can't ignore. You feel it in ways you can't explain to anyone else. The way shadows stretch longer for you, the way silence seems to carry whispers, the way every ordinary moment feels like a setup for something extraordinary. And while others laugh it off, while they mock or dismiss it, you know it's not a joke. You know the world doesn't invest this much weight in someone for nothing. Every strange sign, every pull, every arrival is a piece of a puzzle you didn't ask for but can't avoid. You are tied to it, chained to it, whether you like it or not. The cruel part is how it isolates you. No one else can feel what you feel. No one else can understand why this matters. They think you're paranoid, dramatic, delusional. But deep down, you know better. You know the universe doesn't waste its time on the unready, and that's why the signs come to you. That's why the arrival is yours. That's why the silence screams at you louder than any crowd. Because you're not just another face in the masses. You're the one marked. And being marked isn't pretty. It isn't glorious. It isn't the kind of thing you brag about or show off. It's heavy. It's sharp. It cuts into every part of your life, stripping away the illusions you once clung to. You can't lie to yourself anymore. Can't pretend you're average. Can't pretend life is meaningless. The moment the arrival happens, you're forced to confront the truth you've been dodging. You're chosen, and chosen means burdened. But there's a strange beauty in it too. Because while everyone else drifts, lost in their comfort and chaos, you carry something that matters. You've been given the kind of responsibility people spend their entire lives running from. That's why the signs don't leave you alone, why the silence feels so loud, why the weight doesn't ease. Because it isn't supposed to. You were carved for this moment, even if you never asked for it. People think destiny feels like fireworks, like celebration, like glory. But it doesn't. Destiny feels like dread. Destiny feels like standing at the edge of something you can't see the bottom of. Destiny feels like a car pulling up in the dark, like a message you can't ignore, like a presence that won't let you breathe until you acknowledge it. That's how you know it's real, because it doesn't flatter you. It doesn't comfort you. It doesn't let you rest. It shakes you awake, whether you're ready or not. And when it happens, you don't get to step back. You don't get to hand it off. It isn't something you can share or dilute. It's yours. The weight, the fear, the clarity, the arrival. It was crafted for you and only you. That's the curse and the gift of it all. The world is telling you. With every whisper in the silence, with every twist in your gut, with every shadow that lingers too long, that you were meant to face what others never could. And whether you tremble or laugh, whether you fight or fall, the truth remains the same. This moment was always coming, and it was always coming for you.